Straight ahead on OC News, severe weather is rocking Southern California today, with thunder and rain causing damage throughout the Southland.
And the new Dean of Communications, Scott T. Payton, is joining us to talk about his new position.
And it's been a big weekend in the world of sports. Peyton Manning announced his retirement, and the Los Angeles Lakers beat the 2015 NBA champions, the Golden State Warriors. All this and much more on OC News.
Welcome to OC News. I'm Vanessa Martinez.
And I'm Denise Dela Cruz. OC News is brought to you by the broadcast journalism students at Cal State Fullerton.
It's feeling a lot like winter, reports of hail, strong winds, lightning, and even thunder. Southern California was hammered this morning. Several homes throughout the Southland suffered minor to significant damage. Here's a photo of a tree that tumbled over near a house in Inglewood. Here's another photo, a tree trunk that speared through a roof of a home in Anaheim. The Orange County Fire Authority also posted a photo of a roof that was struck by lightning. Monica Cheek of Irvine posted a video on YouTube documenting broken tree branches on the street and on top of cars.
Did you wake up to thunder this morning? The rain is here, but will it last long? Here's Miranda Alzheimer with the update on this week's weather forecast.
Thank you, ladies. Today started out as such a stormy day. Luckily, it has mellowed out, but the rain is not over yet. The current temperature is 57 with a cloudy sky. Tonight, we will be reaching a low of 47, so make sure to get cuddly. There is a whopping 13-mile-per-hour wind blowing today with 49% humidity. The sun rose at 6:10 this morning in the midst of all the startling thunder and lightning that was going off. And the sun will set shortly after the show at 5:53 p.m. Now let's take a look at whether or not the rain will be continuing this week. Today was filled with rain, clouds, and wind with a high of only 61. We will have the lowest low tonight of 45. Surprisingly, the sun will come out of its slumber Tuesday and Wednesday with highs in the mid-70s before it falls back into its bed of clouds Thursday and Friday. You should expect some heavy PM showers rolling in on Friday evening. Let's check out the national forecast for the day. The country is experiencing cold highs and showers today west of Texas, while the rest of the country has clear skies and sunny days with all the heat focused in the southern states. Back to you ladies at the news desk.
CSUF faculty is preparing to go on strike in April. Teachers and students are protesting for faculty pay increase and are currently raising awareness for their cause.
I am outside of Pollock Library on the Cal State Fullerton campus where faculty members have set up a picket squad. They are making signs and raising awareness of the upcoming CSU Teachers Union strike. But what is the purpose of the strike and what does it mean for Cal State Fullerton students?
Cal State Fullerton CFA President Michelle Barr explained that CSU faculty hasn't seen a raise since 2008 up until last year. Many new faculty are entering at pay rates close to those who have been teaching for longer. The CSU Chancellor offered a 2% increase this year, but after many failed negotiations for something more significant, faculty is striking for 5%.
What we're doing is it's a 5-day, all 23 campuses and the satellite campuses, all campuses for 5 days. So that hasn't been done before. This will be the largest strike in the history of higher education in this country.
But many CSUF students are concerned about what this means for their classes during the strike week. Missing classes may affect our grades, but those striking are asking everyone, including students, to honor the picket line.
But students can regardless, they can honor the picket line and just say, I'm not going to class. They can even show up and picket with us. They can be here now making picket signs. We'd like to have more students, working with us on this strike. So students can be as involved as they want to, or take 5 days off. And
Miriam, daughter of a CSUF faculty member, will be among the youngest picketing for a wage increase for her parents.
One side says my daddy needs 5% and the other says my mommy needs 5%.
Barr explains that the issue isn't merely a pay increase, but the future of the CSU system and quality of education relies heavily on teacher satisfaction.
And what does that say about the value of higher education is that people with the highest education are struggling to make a living, right? Let's get back to what the primary mission of a university is. It's about quality education. Well, to do that, you need quality faculty, quality students, quality working conditions, right?
The strike will take place April 13th, 14th, 15th, 18th, and 19th. Follow the CFA Fullerton chapter on Facebook for more information on the strike and upcoming events. I'm Zoe Inocentes with OC News.
There's a new face on campus, and if you've been around the College of Communications, you may have seen him. We have a new dean. Here's Ryan Paulette and our special guest.
Thanks, Denise. Dr. Scott T. Payton is our new Dean of College of Communications, and he's with us today. His most recent position was Associate Dean of the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences at Humboldt State University. Dr. Payton has a strong pedigree in the Cal State system. He received his bachelor's degree in English from Cal State San Bernardino, his master's degree in Human Communication Studies from Cal State Chico, as well as a doctorate in communication from the University of Southern Illinois. Dr. Payton, thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
I understand your father was also a Cal State professor.
Yeah, my dad was one of the founding faculty members at Cal State San Bernardino. He was a professor in sociology. So I got my start in the CSU by skateboarding around campus and playing basketball with college students and swimming in the pool, and have been at CSU ever since.
And so your upbringing within the Cal State system and your father being a professor, you're largely a product of Cal State. How does that influence your work as a dean?
Like I mentioned, I've been in the CSU my whole life, so I've watched the CSU, I've sort of studied the CSU, and beyond my father, I've got 8 family members that represent 11 degrees from the CSU from various campuses. So, my family's been heavily impacted by the education they've received in the CSU and, the success that has brought to them.
And what can you tell me about how your work as a dean affects the everyday experience of college students here?
Yeah, when I was a college student, I didn't know what a dean was. So the fact that you're having me on the show is fantastic. At least you know. But at this level, I think it's very important for me to connect with students to find out their needs. I met with the club council this morning, and they had a number of great questions. So be able to be in contact with the students is significantly important. My influence is to largely provide resources or obtain resources, to oversee curriculum and the faculty and the staff in the college, and again to communicate with students about their needs and what it is that they want to do to achieve success.
Awesome. So in some statements I've read of yours, you use terms like comprehensiveness, collaboration, and connectivity. How do you plan on achieving your synergistic goals at Cal State Fullerton?
So I had a mentor a number of years ago who said that it was her job to connect the dots. So as a leader in an academic institution, when you have ideas, you have to work in collaboration with others. This is shared governance. It's an environment where students, faculty, staff, and administrators all need to contribute to where the university is going. It's the same thing for the college. And so, I feel like it's my role to ensure that those voices are all being heard, that I'm taking in that information, and that collectively we connect those dots in order to do what's best for our students.
Outstanding. Well, that sounds great. Thank you very much for being with us today. That's it, and back to you, ladies.
Coming up after the break, we talk in studio with the Executive Director of the Retention Cluster Initiative, Dr. Deanna Leone, on efforts to increase graduation rates at CSUF.
And Starbucks fans beware, their popular breakfast sandwiches are being recalled due to health concerns.
As Titans, we stand tall, showing the way as a leading CSU and a top public university in the West. Titans support community, providing spaces for coming together that add depth to the human experience. Titans celebrate opportunity, holding high our achievement in making education accessible with tuition well below the national average. Titans welcome challenge, responding to the state's evolving workforce needs and driving economic development. Titans embrace diversity, knowing that our differing backgrounds and perspectives strengthen our students. Titans pursue innovation, creating a university that is an emerging national model for empowering students on their way to a degree. Titans, reach higher.
I'm one unlucky guy. The chance of being involved in a robbery is 1 in 757. The chances of being struck by lightning. 1 in 750,000.
Please fasten your seatbelts for unexpected turbulence.
The chances of being a victim in an airline crash? 1 in 29 million. Hey, could I get some peanuts? The chances of being involved in a car crash are far greater than lightning strikes and plane crashes. And if you are texting while driving, your risk of crash increases 23 times. Now, I may be an unlucky guy, but I don't have to be part of that statistic, and neither do you. Drive responsibly.
Retention and graduation rates are topics that every university keeps an eye on. Retention rates are the percentage of first-time, first-year undergraduate students who continue school the following year. The university has looked into finding ways to increase those rates and help students. Gabrielle Castellanos is in studio with Dr. Deanna Leone, who is the Executive Director of the Retention Cluster Initiative.
With me, I have Dr. Deanna Leone with me in studio, here to talk about retention rates. How are you doing today?
I'm great, thank you.
All right. Can you just give us a quick overview of your initiative?
Yes, so I was hired recently under the Division of Student Affairs to work in partnership with our academic programs to do whatever we can collectively to ensure that students are successful and thriving while they're here at Cal State Fullerton and that they graduate in a timely manner.
Perfect. And retention rates have steadily increased over the past 15 years. What are you guys doing to make sure we continue to increase those rates as well as maintain them?
Yeah. So our president has issued some very strict demands and high expectations through her strategic plan the last 5 years to ensure that students are really getting the resources that they need. So some of the things that have been happening is we as staff and faculty here at Cal State Fullerton have been doing our best to try to look at really detailed information about what is causing our students to graduate on time, what's keeping them in college, and what are the barriers that are in place. So some of the things that have really specifically taken place over the last few years is we've put together student success teams that have specific goals to look at things like retention, graduation, courses that students are taking, and then the programs that they're doing outside of the classroom that are supporting their success here while at Cal State.
That's amazing. Now let's shift over to graduation rates. Graduation rates sit between 50 to 60% over the last few years. What are we doing and what kind of programs are we implementing to make sure that increases and doesn't fall back down?
Yeah. So again, some of it is looking at the critical issues that cause students to not be able to graduate on time. So things like, do the students know what courses they need to take, what time and what order in which they need to take them? Are they getting the advising support services that they need? And are they feeling a sense of belonging while they're here on campus, that they can take those curriculum that they're doing and put themselves in a place to be able to graduate so that they can be successful after college.
Okay, perfect. And what about underrepresented groups on campus, such as minorities and first-generation college students? What are we doing to ensure that they graduate?
So a lot of it with anything related to retention and graduation, it's really about making sure that we look at the differences between students' needs and the resources that are in place. So trying to make sure that we find specifically what resources maybe a student may not have if they are a first-generation college student. Working with them around the times of courses, working with students about things like the cost to go to school, and looking at all the kinds of things, like I said, that are barriers that are specific to their population and their needs, and then trying to tailor programs and processes to fit students where they identify, whether it's first generation, minority, females, and things like that.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming to studio today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Back to you ladies in studio.
If you love peanut butter, you just might want to listen closely. That favorite food many of us indulge in is actually healthier than you might have expected. And Starbucks is having a bit of a scare with some of their food options like their pre-packaged breakfast sandwiches. Here's Monique Gonzalez with Health News. Monique?
Starbucks is recalling one of its pre-packaged breakfast sandwiches due to listeria fears. The item in question is a 6-ounce package of sausage, egg, and cheddar cheese on an English muffin. The Food and Drug Administration says the sandwich may be contaminated with listeria. The sandwiches in question were sold at Starbucks stores in Arkansas, Texas, and Oklahoma. No one has reportedly fallen ill from the sandwich, but Starbucks is pulling it off its shelves. The FDA says only stores that sold the sandwiches are affected by the recall. Listeria can cause serious bacteria infections and is sometimes fatal. Many studies have shown the benefits of including nuts and peanut butter in your diet. Those who do so are less likely to develop type 2 diabetes and heart disease. Recent study results out of the University of Houston suggest peanuts and peanut butter may hold the key to preventing obesity. A study followed Latino middle school children who swapped out peanuts for unhealthy snacks. After 12 weeks, the children who ate the nuts had a lower body mass index than those who did not. And they continued to lower their BMI for 12 weeks beyond the study. The study findings are published in the Journal of Research on Children. Texting while walking, sending emails while talking to a coworker. Multitasking is part of our daily lives. But CNN reporter Mary Maloney explains why juggling so many things at once can do more harm than good. Take a look.
Contrary to popular belief, multitasking doesn't always save time. In most cases, it will probably take you longer to finish 2 or more projects than it would to finish each one separately. Experts say that when switching between tasks, you're more likely to make mistakes, especially if what you're working on involves a lot of critical thinking. Researchers from the University of California say it's not only the physical act of multitasking that can stress you out, but also the consequences. Bombing an exam or failing to perform at work can lead to self-esteem issues or even depression. Multitasking can even affect how much you eat. Eating while distracted means you may eat too much too quickly, or that you won't fully remember the feeling of eating and being full. Because of that, you might be picking up the fork again too soon. Experts say each task requires a specific mindset, and once you get started, you should commit to the end. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mary Maloney.
And that's it for health. Back to you.
After the commercial break, Christian Vigil will have the latest on Peyton Manning's retirement.
And coming up in entertainment news, Zootopia was hard to beat at the box office. Stay tuned to find out how much it made in the #1 spot this opening weekend.
Did you look? Did you go to the schoolyard? Calm down, please. Where did you look? We can make a plan somehow. If I just.
He's a smart boy, and he's gonna be okay.
Just okay. Try to call him again.
There's no reception right now. Everything is down.
Try.
I can't.
Try already.
Nothing's working.
Well, just
everything's
try.
down.
Do you think he's on his way? Please. Is he okay?
Laura.
Please tell me he's okay.
I need you to calm down.
What? It's my baby. This is so bad. He's out there by himself.
Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
An NFL legend retires, and it's arguably the biggest upset in NBA history. Christian Vigil has the latest news in sports.
Okay, everyone, grab a Snickers. We got some stories to cover in sports. But first, football. Earlier today, legendary quarterback Peyton Manning announced his retirement after playing 18 seasons in the NFL. The five-time MVP held back tears during his speech, thanking everyone that was a part of his football career.
I miss putting in a play with Tom Moore and Adam Gase that ends in a touchdown on Sunday. On Fridays, I'll miss picking out the game balls with my equipment guys. And talking football with the broadcast crews before the game, and afterwards I'll miss recapping the game with my dad. And checking to see if the Giants won, and calling Eli as we're both on our team buses. I miss that handshake with Tom Brady, and I miss the plane rides after a big win with 53 teammates standing in the aisles, laughing and celebrating during the whole flight. I miss playing in front of so many great fans, both at home and on the road, and I'll even miss the Patriot fans in Foxborough, and they should miss me, because they sure did get a lot of wins off of me.
Great speech. Manning has broken several records and made history, so it's only fitting he would do it again by joining current Broncos GM John Elway as the only starting quarterbacks to retire after winning a Super Bowl. In the words of many players in the National Football League that has shown respect to Manning, when the announcement was made, the sheriff has ride off into the sunset. Onwards to basketball. If I were to tell you that a team with a 12-51 record would defeat a team that was 55-5, you probably would have looked at me crazy. Kobe Bryant, playing his last ABC primetime game despite the shoulder injury, jump into the second quarter, and Bryant positions himself for his patented vintage fadeaway jump shot, putting the Lakers up 43-34 later in the quarter. Good defense is going to lead to good offense as Jordan Clarkson goes for the two-handed slam. He would finish with 25 points to lead all scorers. Looking at it again, you can see Clarkson able to read the pass and take the ball to the hoop. Second half highlights, the Warriors able to tighten their defense. Klay Thompson forces the turnover, and Steph Curry is going to get the ball in transition for the easy layup. But the Lakers would continue to put the pressure as Bryant finds rookie Julius Randle for the easy dunk, putting the Lakers up by 12. We go to the fourth, and the Lakers will win the jump ball. Marcellus Huerta with the basketball adds to the top 10 plays as he lobs to Larry Nance Jr. for the slam. The team dead last in the Western Conference just handed the top team in basketball their sixth loss of the season in what is arguably the greatest regular season upset in NBA history as the Lakers win 112-95. Kobe says farewell to the Warriors as he would finish with 12 points. D'Angelo Russell poured in 21. Meanwhile, Curry and Thompson only combined for 33. And Laker fans, well, they get free tacos. Let's go to local. The CSUF softball team competed in the Judy Garman Classic, taking on schools such as Wisconsin and Northwestern. The bullpen was able to do some damage, including an 8-strikeout performance by Rivera Friday night, but the Titans would end the weekend yesterday in a close one against the Tar Heels of North Carolina and pulled out a 6-5 victory thanks to Cheyenne Brandon's walk-off single to left field. Titans improve their record to 13-7 of the season before the next game, which will be against Florida State at Anderson Family Field. Well, that'll do it for sports. Back to you, ladies.
Disney's most recent animated film broke box office records this weekend, while SNL had a lot to say on the 2016 presidential candidates. Here's Zoe with entertainment.
Disney's latest animated feature, Zootopia, topped the box office this weekend, opening to a record-breaking $74 million. The Animal Whodunit smashed the record for Disney's biggest opening weekend, previously set by their 2013 hit, Frozen. Looks like Elsa and Anna have to let it go. Although the numbers don't compare to some of the company's Pixar films, Zootopia is still a record success for the studios, with a surprising message that is resonating with kids and adults. The family film knocked previous box office topper Deadpool into third. This weekend's other two wide releases, the action thriller London Has Fallen, opened in second, and Tina Fey's comedy drama Whiskey Tango Foxtrot debuted fourth. Meanwhile, Saturday Night Live took a controversial turn, poking fun at who other than Donald Trump. The show ran a fake ad segment called Racist for Trump, playing off the endorsement from former KKK leader David Duke. The segment depicts everyday people vaguely supporting Trump while casually burning books and ironing Klan robes. Naturally, the mock ad blew up on social media, fueling the internet's constant buzz over Trump. And it looks like Jimmy Kimmel has been tapped to host the 68th annual Primetime Emmys. The Television Academy announced today that the late-night comedian will be taking the stage to honor this year's Best in TV. Kimmel has previously hosted the awards in 2012. Emmy nominees will be announced in July 14th, and live awards show will air in September. That's it for entertainment. Back to you, ladies.
Join us on social media to tell us about important stories you see and other items you would like to see covered on OC News. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, all under the handle OC News CSUF.
That's going to do it for us here. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you back here on Wednesday at 5 p.m. for another edition of OC News. Good night.